Hey, hello, good evening, everybody. This is Moondog, and you are watching TMI, Too Much Information, live with me. And today, well, we're having a special Halloween episode because it is just a few days before Halloween. And I am wearing a special costume today, and I'll get into what exactly I'm wearing. Extra bonus points for you out there who can identify which costume I'm going to be debuting tonight. But before we get started, of course, I want to recognize this episode's sponsor. So let me bring them up to stage here. Our regular sponsor, Aura.com, which is an online cybersecurity company that I use to help protect me when I'm on the web. They offer us a whole suite of services. I mean, a lot of companies out there offer similar services, but they only offer like a handful or just one of these services. Like, for example, VPN services. Which there's a lot of VPNs out there, for granted, but Aura not only has a VPN, but they also offer credit monitoring, spam blockers. They have a great service called data broker removal. And these are data brokers are these companies out there that collect and sell our personal private information, our online identities. They sell information to marketeers and political organizations, and who knows, anybody basically who wants to buy our information. Our email addresses, our phone numbers, our physical addresses, all that information is bought and sold online. It's legal, though, it's kind of questionable, but it is legal. There's businesses out there, and the only way you can get yourself off of these lists, stop these companies from selling your information, is to formally request to have your information removed. But first you have to find out even if they have your information, you have to go through this formal process. Yeah, you can do it yourself, but there are hundreds of these data brokers out there. Use Aura, and in a single press of a button, you can get yourself removed from all of them. All of the people who have your information. So try them out for free. But you can bundle all these services and you can get them for a low monthly fee, but you can try them out for free if you use my link right there, aura.com/moondog, and use that QR code. Try them out. Let me know how they work for you. Everybody who's been tried them out, and let me know. They say that it's great. So, oh, and by the way, we have a special guest tonight. I haven't seen him on my live stream before, but a good friend of mine, Henry Schutz. Thanks for joining me. Yes, here for the thumbnail. Absolutely. Got to actually have you as a guest. I'd love to talk with you about Asian archery at some point, or whatever you want to talk about. But anyway, Henry Schutz, a good old friend of mine from back in my airsoft days. But glad to have you out there. Okay, so let's move on. So here's the early bird clue for those of you who are tuning in early. Every episode, I like to give away a little prize. Well, today, this is your early bird cue. And what I want you to do is, if you know this company, based on this graphic here, I want you to send me an email at contest@moondogindustries.com. You can see that there. And let me just include that in the side chat here. Let me include the link here for you, and I'll post it up. It is contest@moondogindustries.com. Put your answer in the form of your subject line. So put a hashtag and your answer in the subject line, and put in the body that you're entering the contest, and and put in your mailing address so I can mail you the prize. I'm going to give 4 prizes tonight, so the first 4 people to send me an email will get the prize. And what is the prize tonight? Well, since it is Halloween and Halloween is coming up, I wanted it is a holiday of the night. So in honor of that, you will get a Night Force, this little handy lens cleaner, packable lens cleaner. So here we go. It's microfiber cloth from Night Force, and you get one of these cool little lens cleaner little packs. You can just stuff that into this little pocket here, clip this on to your gear, and you're ready to go. But this is from Night Force. So get your answers in, and if you the first answer I get in an email form, we'll get that Night Force little lens cleaner, and the subsequent winners will get patches from Night Core, and these are Velcro morale patches from Night Core. So these are our 2 night-themed prizes. So get your answers in. Okay. So let's get into the new videos that I posted this week, and we can talk about them. You can ask, I can answer any of your questions about them. So on my Moondog to a channel. This is actually an older video of mine. I actually filmed this almost a year ago now, but for a variety of reasons, I ended up pushing it back. First, it was SHOT Show and all the videos and everything that I meant to post it in the beginning of January, but the SHOT Show got in the way, and then all of these brands wanted to get their reviews out, and I kept on pushing it back, and lo and behold, it's almost it's fall already, and I meant to get this out earlier in the year. But anyway, it is a review of the Vortex Viper PST Gen 2, and that is their, I wouldn't consider it their budget, almost budget. I mean, it's like their mid to intro tier price point, but it is their least expensive fiber optic LPVO, and it's actually pretty decent, pretty good LPVO. And because it is fiber optic, it is daylight bright, very reasonably priced, a good Vortex glass. It's not their top end, but it is a very solid red dot or fiber optic, and it's as bright as a red dot in terms of an LPVO. And I posted up a review of that. I won't replay the footage here, but if you want to check that out, you can see how well it performs. And it has very much, in terms of its look and feel, very, very similar to their higher end razors in terms of the turret design and overall performance. Not quite as good as a Vortex Razor HD, obviously, but that thing is like it's almost a $2,000 LPVO. This is much more affordable. Okay, and on my Moondog Reviews channel, my non-pew pew, I posted up a review of the Athlon Midas G2 folding binoculars, and this is their smallest, lightest, most compact travel binoculars that they offer, and it is a nice 10 power pair of binoculars with fairly small 25 millimeter objective. That's not that, I mean, it's small, but because it's compact travel binoculars. But if you think about it, that's actually a bigger objective lens than a lot of LPVOs out there, including that Vortex Viper. So in terms of your view, still pretty decently bright. I mean, not as bright as a 50 millimeter, obviously, but because that's double the light gathering on the front end, but still a very good view. And unlike a lot of folding binoculars out there, a lot of cheaper folding binoculars, it's not like you're looking through a straw. That your exit pupil is actually pretty decently large, so you actually feel like you're getting a good field of view. So here's a little taste of that video in the form of a short. I'll add this so you can see this video short that I posted up. These are Athlon Midas. These are their smallest, most lightweight binoculars. Let's see if we can find any wildlife to look at. The top of this pine tree is about 60 feet above me, but I don't see any squirrels or birds in there. And looking over to our right, there's a tree stump, which is about 30-40 feet away. And looking along this ridge, and we found a bird. Now, it kind of looks like a sparrow, maybe a little bit bigger than a sparrow. I had to look this up, and I think it's a house finch based on the slightly red colorization on its head feathers, which the males apparently have. But I'm not a birder. If you happen to know and be able to correctly identify this bird, please leave me a comment and let us all know. What I can say for certain is the view through these binoculars is very clear and feels very color accurate. So Tim Mooney says, looks like a finch. Okay, I think that's, I'll go with you. I'm just curious, since I'm not really a birder, how do you identify a finch from a sparrow? Is there any sort of telltale things? Is it the size, or is it like the beak? Yeah, I'll go with you with your assessment, Tim, since the only reason I was able to think it was that was as I just typed in to like Google, let the AI tell me what it was. But actually, using AI might be a good way, a good use for the large image library or kind of AI to help identify wildlife and animals. So that's an interesting use of AI, considering it's going to take all of our jobs away soon enough. So yeah, okay. All right. So that is the video that I posted for Moondog Reviews. And on my Moondog Go channel, I posted a short of my visit to Home Depot. Oh, here we go. Going back, let me just go back to the finch question. My sister's bird feeder has finches commonly. Looks like one of those birds. Got it. So that's one of the good. I guess that's a good thing. Reason why you want a bird feeder near you, so that if you are interested in seeing the bird life that's around you, why go to them when you can have them come to you? So that's actually a really good idea another good reason to have a bird feeder out there in your backyard or on your property. All right, so let's see if I can share this video with you, because for some reason I was having a hard time finding the original file of this, but probably because I did this on my phone. But let me see if I can share this with you. And we have, there we go. I hope that's a club he's holding. So yeah, okay. All right, I don't know if you can still hear that in the background, but anyway, that was the video short that I posted. I actually got a fair number of views on that one. It's always fun to go to Home Depot in October, because they have all of those lawn ornaments out. And I don't know, in your neighborhood, do you live in, is it your block, is it your house that is the one that's super decked out for Halloween? In my area, Halloween is quickly becoming as big of a deal as Christmas in terms of the decorations that people put out, at least in some neighborhoods, some blocks. Kind of like at Christmas time, everybody likes to put Christmas lights up, but there's always that one neighborhood or that one block in your town that is your Christmas lane or candy cane lane. Let me know in the side comments where that is. In my area in San Francisco, the Halloween block is actually in my neighborhood. My neighborhood is called Glen Park in San Francisco. And there are a few handful of neighborhoods that do up Halloween. Not all of them do, but Glen Park is, for whatever reason, starting about 10, 11 years ago, really became a big Halloween mecca in terms of where people come. There's this one about 3 or 4 block stretch of homes that end in the canyon, and the other end ends up in the town, the village section of Glen Park. And for whatever reason, all the homes along that block, then along that 3 or 4 block stretch, have really done up Halloween. They have all the garages open up, and people put out punch for alcoholic beverages and candy. It's become a family thing, but the atmosphere feels a little bit more like Mardi Gras than I remember Halloween being. And growing up, there was always that one block or that one area where the kids always knew where to go because they had the candy. Typically, it's like the rich neighborhood, right? That's because those neighborhoods are going to give you the full-size candy bars instead of the Dollar Tree generic Smarties or whatever, right? Or worse off. Here's a question. Do you like candy corn? So you can usually gauge the quality of a block by the amount of candy corn you get in your bag. So at least that's how one of the ways I would gauge it. Hey, so let's I see a couple more folks joining us on the side, but let me call out a few folks here. So we had Vadim join us first, and then we had my buddy Henry Schutz join us, and we have Tim Mooney here, and we have Pick, and we have Michael Dunn. So we have a good house of folks there on the side chat. So here's my question to you: is your neighborhood the place to go for Halloween in terms of for kids to go to for candy, or has it become, or is it some other neighborhood in your town? And is are there any neighborhoods or blocks that really do up Halloween, like do haunted houses and things like that? And San Francisco is people think San Francisco is a big city, but actually it's got less than 1 million people in population. So it's a big city. It's not the biggest city in the California. It's, I think, somewhere around fifth or sixth in terms of overall population. It's actually pretty low. But there are some definite areas in San Francisco that do up Halloween a little bit more. And of course, there's always the rich neighborhoods that have that do up, not necessarily as much in terms of lawn ornaments, but they certainly have a lot more kids going to them. And people end up going to places that are a little more done up, or at least places kids know where to go for the candy. Michael Judd says, it used to be fairly good, but now we don't have that many kids in it. And that's the other thing. As our population in general, we are more and more, less and less families have a lot of kids. I only have 2 kids. We wanted to have more kids, but that's kind of rare for families, wanting more than 2 kids nowadays. And also because of that, and just the way people tend to move around, usually, when I was growing up, you knew that in your neighborhood there was at least another family in that block that had kids your age, or at least in the surrounding 3 or 4 blocks. But now, it's you can go to in neighborhoods in my city where there are no kids, but it's gotten a little better, certainly. And in my particular block, for whatever reason, there's a lot more younger kids, which is great. But because it's a little more the density of the kids, and plus we live on a hill, most kids want to go. Don't want to trick or treat up and down a hill. So another reason why the kids tend to congregate over by the village part of the town is because it's flatter. And, when you're walking around looking for candy, it's just one of those things. It's sort of like gravity and black holes. Black hole, solar systems have more gravity, and they attract more dust, and they get bigger. Galaxies get bigger that are bigger galaxies. Neighborhoods that have more decorations, and the kids know that there's more candy. All the kids, word gets around to the schools. You got to go to this block as opposed to that area, and it tends to attract more kids. And those houses know that they're going to have more kids coming to them. They buy more candy. We used to buy candy for the first 5 years that we lived here, or when we moved back to San Francisco. But I think we only ever had like one trick-or-treater, and that happened to be another kid on our block. And he was only stopping by because he was on the way to the village where everybody else went. So most of the years that we put out candy, nobody came by. So after a while, we stopped putting out candy just because it just didn't seem like worth it. And we got tired of eating through the Halloween candy the kids didn't mind, but they get tired and they have to trade their candy. I don't know. Oh, we have Abigail joining us. Slancha, how are you? All right, let's continue on. Here's a segment there. I'd like to get your input on a upcoming video that I'm going to be putting out. Now, this one is going to be of a review of the Tractoric. This is their compact 30 millimeter. 35 millimeter. And this is Japanese UHD glass. And I believe it's also made and constructed or assembled in Japan. So Tractorics, for those of you who don't know, Tract was founded by 2X Nikon optics guys. And of course, through their experience working on Nikon, or Nikon as we call it here in the US, their experience of working with Nikon, they made contacts with a lot of optics manufacturers and suppliers in Japan. And so that's why they started their company here, Tract. And they put out some really nice optics. And because they're direct to consumer, they are, while they're not cheap, by no means are they a budget scope brand, but compared to the kind you're basically getting like really higher end Nikon quality optics for a lower price because they're direct to consumer and they're a smaller company. They're very, very, very small and very little overhead. So they pass on the savings to you. So this is their most compact set of field binoculars. And it's a nice, fully armored, Japanese ED glass, very clean looking through that. And this is the photo that I'm going to be using for a thumbnail for this upcoming video. It is a 8-35 binocular. So if you have any thoughts as to what thumbnail, what I should put as the caption on the thumbnail, or the headline on the thumbnail, let me know on the side there. And let me see. Let me just get to see what other folks have said on the side chat here. Michael Dunn says, I remember when kids we came home with a pill. Yeah, when I remember as a kid, you wanted to get as big of a bag as possible because it was all about how much candy you could haul back and then trade for the rest of the week. And I don't know, maybe I'm like, I was a little shocked the last couple of Halloweens. My kids are a little bit older, granted, but the last couple of Halloweens that my son and his friends would stop. It's like, I would ask them, like, do you want to keep on going, get more candy? Like, no, we'll get enough. Like, really? Kids nowadays, or at least the kids that my son hangs out with, seem to be a lot more measured than I ever was at their age. And Tim says, oh, everyone's saying hi to Abigail. So Abigail says, drinking hot toddies, nice, and trying to figure out what I'm going to wear to my friends get together. So we'll get into, you know what, I'll ask what you guys are going to be wearing in for Halloween in a bit. But anyway, if you have any thoughts as to what would be a good thumbnail headline for this review of the Track Toric, nothing really comes to mind. Toric is an unusual word, perhaps, but I couldn't come up with any really reasonable or hooky puns to go with this particular thumbnail. I'm probably just going to go with the Track Toric, the most and just the specs of it being an 8 power 35 set of binoculars. But yeah, if you have any thoughts, a little bit later, post it on the comment section. We'll move on. So here's the next clue for those of you out there for the name of the brand. Oh, and let me show you what you'll win. So the prize today, because it is Halloween and it is a holiday of the night, you get a Night Force. The first person to answer the question correctly will get a Night Force lens cleaner. And the clue today is this brand is the largest retailer of Halloween props and costumes in the U.S. It was founded in 1983 in the San Francisco Bay Area. Surprisingly enough, I didn't know that. But yeah, it was originally founded in 1983 and somewhere around here in the East Bay. And it's currently, that's another thing I didn't know, is currently owned by Spencer Gifts. For those of you who are maybe old enough to remember, Spencer Gifts was that kind of interesting store that had these fun and sometimes a little risque gifts that you could buy inside of the store. And at the rear of the store at the mall, it had like blacklight stuff. So that's what I remember about Spencer Gifts growing up. But throughout, mostly in the 70s, but sometime around the late 80s and 90s, they just disappeared from the malls around me. I don't know why, for whatever reason. But anyway, so if you know this name of this brand, this mystery brand, send me an email and send it to contest@moondogindustries.com, and I'll post it into the side chat for you. Put the answer in the subject line. So put hashtag and the name of the brand in the subject line, and put your mailing address inside the body of the email. So I'll mail you. The first person who sent me an email will get the Night Force lens cleaner, and the next 3 winners will get a Night Core patch. So there we go. Tim Mooney says Spencer's was replaced by Hot Topic in my area, and I gotta wonder. I gotta look this up. Does Hot Topic? Yeah, Hot Topic also has some interesting like tchotchkes and gifts as well, doesn't it? So like Hot Topic, is it owned? Is it owned by Spencer? And let's see. Google. No, Hot Topic is not owned by Spencer's. Interesting. Yeah, but there's some overlap there. I agree with you. There's some strange overlap in terms of the kind of stuff that they sell. All right, so let's get into the rabbit hole. So the topic for today, as you saw in the thumbnail, is going to be Halloween, and that's going to be coming up this Friday. 31st of October is a Halloween, and that is the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day, and it's the beginning of the observance of All Hallows Tide, the time in the Christian liturgical calendar dedicated to the remembering the dead, including saints and martyrs and the faithfully departed. So here's the rundown for those of you who are not terribly religious or Christian for that matter. October 31st is All Hallows Eve, Halloween, which is, I guess, an Old English or Middle English truncation of Hallows Eve or Halloween. And then we have November 1st, which is All Saints Day, but it's also the beginning of Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, in Spanish or specifically in Mexican culture. And that runs from November 1st to 2nd. But that's where it always got kind of confused to me, because I was growing up in Southern California, where it's, a lot of Mexican culture is strong. I was aware of Day of the Dead, but I always got to mix it up with like being November 1st. And I thought that was All Souls Day. But now, being a bad Catholic student, I forgot All Souls Day, which is supposed to remember the dead, and is November 2nd. It's All Saints Day, which is the 1st. But the Day of the Dead, actually the Days of the Dead, because that's the holiday runs over both of those days. So there lies the confusion in my head. I don't know. Did that ever confuse you, or do you even? Does it even matter to those of you out there? Most people just know it as Halloween, and Halloween has quickly become possibly the second most popular and the biggest spend, perhaps. I have to look that up, whether or not Christmas, of course, is the biggest spend holiday that people have. But what's the second most? Do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's Halloween, or do you think it's Valentine's Day? Let me Google that for you. All right, so let me see here. Let me share this screen, and let's Google that together. Let me go to my Google screen here. What is the second biggest holiday in the U.S. for spending on gifts, or just for spending? Okay, let's see. Halloween. It is Halloween. So it's the second biggest commercial holiday in the U.S. for spending after the winter season, after Christmas. Consumers spend over $12 billion, with a B, billion, on costumes, just on costumes, candy, and decorations, according to GeniusMonkeyandHistory.com. So that's interesting. I kind of guessed that just from the sheer amount of stuff people put on their lawn. And it's quickly, like, as I said, in my area, it's quickly might even be surpassing Christmas in terms of the sheer amount of decorations. But then again, San Francisco is a godless city. So the fact that they don't really do up Christmas as much here as they would a bacchanalian kind of and hedonistic kind of holiday is Halloween, is the commercial version of that. It does not necessarily surprise me, but maybe I'm just reading into things too much over here. Abigail likes to point out that the Samhain, a lot of the traditions that we have for Halloween tie in with a lot of Celtic and so pre-Christian festivals. That it's the time of year when the sort of the veil, as she's saying, the between the spirit world and our world is the thinnest, where spirits come and walk in our world. And so the tradition of like wearing costumes and things like that also comes from there. Jack-o'-lanterns as well. But from my research, the earliest jack-o'-lanterns weren't pumpkins; they were turnips. But for whatever reason, because I guess turnips were harder to get here, and or pumpkins were a bigger, easier to sell in the United States. Pumpkins just became the symbol for Halloween in terms of carving out a pumpkin, eating the insides and making them into pies, but leaving the shells decorated and carved into scary faces to drive off monsters and demons and evil spirits. We chose pumpkins. So, question: do you guys still get pumpkins and carve them for Halloween? We did. First couple of years, the kids have just gotten older and have gotten less into carving out. And I'm not going to spend the time to carve it out myself. We got the kids to do it for a couple of years back, but last 2 years the kids have just not been into it for what, kids have other things they want to do, I guess. But that is what it is. And so we have Will Track says, I have a military brat grandkid, so I'm part of that billion that buys stuff for Halloween, for Christmas and Halloween. Yeah. Pick says, not since my kids grew up. I like, if there were more kids consistently who would ring the door or were in our neighborhood, or who I know would make the effort to walk up the hill to the area of town where we live, I would totally do up and buy candy and do up stuff. But it's kind of depressing when you go through the effort and nobody shows up on Halloween. So that's kind of like a reason why we stopped. We have decorations up. We still have ghosts up on our gate, but that's the extent of it now. And we'll probably just get some emergency candy, but yeah, it is what it is. But let's talk about Halloween. And I wanted to ask, what are you guys going as for Halloween? And I'm just giving you a sneak preview. This is what me and my wife are going as for Halloween this year. We're going as two characters from the Demon Slayer movie, and a few episodes back, I covered Demon Slayer, the movie. And these are two characters from that movie. I'm going as Uro Kadaki, who is sort of a supporting character. He's the main character's first teacher. And my wife is going as, I misspelled that. It's Shinobu, not Sninobu. That's an H instead of an N. But Shinobu, who is one of the demon slayers, and her specialty is poisons. She poisons demons to kill them. So these are the costumes that we're going at for Halloween. We got a chance to try out our costumes at a pre-Halloween party that we attended last weekend, but this is what we're going to be walking around in this coming Friday. Now, my wife and I have been going in a couple's costume almost without fail for Halloween since we got married. But, which is, wow, over 20 years. So, but 20 years we've been going as a couple's costume. And when the kids were younger, we went in family costumes. For example, here we are on the left. That's from last year. We went as Fallout Vault Dwellers. And for those of you who haven't seen it, go check out Fallout, the series on, is it Amazon? I think it's Amazon Prime. I could be wrong. It's either Amazon or Netflix. I feel bad that I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Amazon. Or the video games, though the video games, the terms of quality can kind of vary. I'm still a huge fan of Fallout 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or well, really 4 is New Vegas, but more 1 than 2 in any case. But we went as Vault Dwellers last year, and on the right, the year before that, we went as characters from Final Fantasy VII. My wife went as Tifa, and I went as Barrett. And our son, we got to be Cloud there in the photo. But as the kids got older, they've first our daughter and now our son is not interested in joining his parents in a family costume, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But those are the costumes that we came up with for Halloween in the last 2 years. What are you guys going as, or are you dressing up at all? Let me know in the side chat if you guys are dressing up as anything for Halloween. Let me see here. We have Abigail saying, "I'd rather eat pumpkin than carve it." Yeah, I really like pumpkin pie. It's probably one of my it's up there with my favorite pies. Though I think I like sweet potato pie a little bit more than pumpkin pie nowadays. And Will Track says, okay, no worries, man. I hope it's not me. But it still sucks if your YouTube is freezing. Didn't Zelda have a sword? Oh, you're talking about Link from Zelda? Michael Dunn? No, Link didn't. Link had actually, if you go by the video games, Link has a variety of different swords, but that particular sword is Cloudbreaker, or sorry, Stormbreaker from, and the character's name is Cloud from Final Fantasy. And Tim says, "I'm going as myself, grumpy old man." I think that's a costume that I can get down with for sure. And I'm not sure what this Coolidge. So you're going as President Coolidge? Or I'm not quite sure what that comment was now. So maybe you're going as President Coolidge? Oh, okay. Sorry. I think he maybe it's still laggy, but he meant to say, in college, a friend, Williams says in the side chat, in college, a friend and he went as Jake and Elwood to several parties. Yes. And surprisingly enough, my son and my wife watched Blues Brothers for the first time last week. And that's one of the costumes you have to go as a pair, because if you go as just Jake or Elwood by themselves, you got to go as a duo costume. So that's one of the issues that my son, I think, originally wanted to go as the Blues Brothers, but he couldn't get any of his friends, his classmates, to go. So yeah, we said, yeah, that's not going to work if you just go by as one of the Blues Brothers. And Tim says, Warren G. Harding costume was already taken. That's why. Okay. And pumpkin pie is awesome. You can just pick up a piece and go. This is true. And, I'm one of those folks who believe that pumpkin pie is not just a fall treat. You can have it any time of year. So if I'm at a diner, that's my go-to dessert. With lots of whipped cream. Yeah. Or a la mode is the way I like to have pumpkin pie. All right. So talking about Halloween, and interestingly enough, I found this photo down the rabbit hole. So I love this quote from Mean Girls, the movie Mean Girls. Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girl could say anything about it. And that's one of the things, when you get to the age of 16 to 30, it seems like it's the excuse, at least for adult ladies. A lot of them, city girls will dress up as sexy something. And, or the costumes, it's just an excuse to really show off more than they would at any other occasion, short of going to Burning Man, I suppose. But it is an interesting observation that a lot of people have had about the costumes, especially the girls' costume, tend to be a little over sexualized. Or maybe it's just a bit something I observed as I got older, because I don't remember costumes when I was like a teenager looking at adults. I don't remember the adults dressing up as overtly sexualized as they are now. But am I wrong about that? Let me know on the side chat if you think that that's the sort of sexualization of Halloween has been amped up in recent years or not. Tim Mooney says, naughty or sexy anything costumes. Yes. So, as I was, as you might have seen some of these Spirit Halloween memes going around, but some of the things I was just thinking about as far as sexy costumes, here's some sexy costumes I don't think I'd ever want to see. Sexy nun. That is not a costume you should wear for the Halloween parade at any Catholic school. But everyone's seen that kind of interpretation of, for sure. Sexy Gandalf, and there you and you think that isn't real. Somebody, if you look at the bottom right photo, somebody went as sexy Gandalf. Sexy Gollum, which I will not show you a picture of, but believe me, if you Google it, it exists. So, yeah. Sexy Xenomorph. So yeah, there's a lot of sexy, put whatever it is at the end of that, sexy cop, sexy lumberjack, or whatever. But there are some sexy costumes you don't want to see. So that's just my list there. What do you think would be a kind of all kinds of wrong in terms of a sexy costume? Put your suggestion in the side chat. Sexy meth cooker. There we go. There's one. But as we're talking about, some of you are I think I asked earlier, what are you guys going as for Halloween? You might go to a Halloween party or you might decide to dress up, but I have some suggestions for you. And maybe you have some suggestions out there. What is an easy costume that you could pull off for Halloween? And I know that, was it Michael Dunn who said he's going as Grumpy Old Man? Oh, it was Tim. Tim said, I'm going as Grumpy Old Man. Well, that is a very easy costume to pull off. Well, here's some other ideas for easy costumes that you could pull off. Social media influencer. So all you really need to do is dress casual, maybe a hoodie, maybe a tank top, but as long as you have some headphones to wear and a tumbler and maybe some glasses and just talk on your phone. Just hold your phone up the entire time and just talk to it as you're walking around the party. And there you go. You're a social media influencer. Here's another one, reminder. And all you have to do is just cover yourself with Post-it notes. And you can even write stuff on them. Timony, a ski mask is an easy costume. Just don't wear it to a gas station or a convenience store. Yes. So, though the costume is actually bank robber, right? So, but you do but you do have to wear the mask, or you could wear hose over your face. That's supposed to be more of a bank robber. Here's another easy costume. My parents, or your parents. So you just dress up like your parents, or you could go as your parents' regrets and just wear whatever you're wearing. I'm not talking about you, but I'm just saying it's a funny kind of costume. You could just say, what are you going as? I'm going as my parents' regrets. So yeah, that's always a funny thing to say. Now here's another one, 1930s gangster. So all you really need is a fedora, right? And wear a suit. And that's actually what my son's going to go as, since he couldn't go as the Blues Brothers. He's just going to borrow my fedora and go with and go as as a gangster, or you could go as one of the extras in the Smooth Criminal video, Michael Jackson's video, with a fedora outfit, I suppose. Here's a suggestion from William Trax. Ghost. Yeah, that's classic. Bedsheet, though, if you don't want, it does require you to destroy a bedsheet. So, at least poke 2 holes in it, or you can put multiple holes and go as Charlie Brown, as a ghost. Michael Does says bum or hobo. Yeah. Just put some, get a bandana and make a haversack with a stick, if you want to go, full costume and props. Here's another suggestion: serial killer. You just need to empty cereal boxes and just tape them around you, and then have like a bloody plastic knife or an axe or something. And there you go, serial killer. Get it? Anyway, you could go as a minion, from the animated movie series. Just wear a yellow shirt under blue overalls, and of course you could wear like thick round glasses, or make a big eye in the middle of your head if you wanted to. You could do that way. Formal apology. Here's a suggestion. How do you go as a formal apology? Dress in your formal clothes and then just write a sign on your chest that says, "I'm sorry." I thought that was a kind of a clever way to do that. There's a suggestion there. And here's my personal favorite, not, maybe not in terms of thinking about it, but colonoscopy. How do you do that? You get some black paper, cut out 2 circles, then tape them onto a white shirt, stack them up. So that's a colon, and then carry around a camera. So there you go. There's your colonoscopy. You're welcome. And here's some other photos. Those of you who are just listening to this will not be able to see the photos, but you could just wear a t-shirt, any old t-shirt and jeans, and just put on a backpack, and you can say, "I'm a graduate student," or a college student. So there you go. Tim Mooney says, "I saw a clever hippie costume, then they realized they weren't wearing a costume." Yeah, I saw a lot of adult hippies, or senior citizen hippies. Usually they were carrying signs that says "No Kings." Boom! Anyway, Where's Waldo is easy. It is, but you got to get the striped shirt and striped beanie, right? Which, yeah, it is easy as long as you have the round glasses and you can, find that striped beanie. But I don't know. Maybe you do have one. Somebody came. What was it? They came as a couple, but they at the party that I went to, wearing this costume, they came as Where's Waldo and Cat in the Hat, and the theme was stripes. Both of them were wearing stripes, but they were two different universes. So there you go. What else could be an easy costume to pull off? And it helps if you could be clever about it. One year, my friend pulled off a sort of a last minute costume. She found a refrigerator box, and then she drew windows on it, and then she got an action figure and put a string on it, and she had it look like the guy was jumping out of one of the windows, and she said she was wearing the box the entire night, and she said she was going as the stock market crash of 1929. Okay, that's a bit of an obscure reference there, but yeah, that's when people were jumping out of windows, or at least supposedly. I don't know if that actually was. I don't know if that's a prophetic story or not, or maybe there was one person who did commit suicide by jumping out of a window in Manhattan. Or not. I don't know if there wasn't, but that's what she chose to go. I think any costume that you can pull off that is a sort of a pun can always work, just like the serial killer or the formal apology is something that, even though you definitely look like you didn't spend a lot of time creating the costume, you get extra points for creativity. I at least I give them extra points for creativity. Anyway, Doppler effect. There we go. Tim Mooney says Doppler effect. How would you do that as a costume, though? I like I like the idea, but how would you pull off Doppler effect? Let me know in the side chat there how you pull off a Doppler effect. Other than, as you're always walking around, you just go wow, wow. That could get annoying though. Is there some other, or are you going with redshift? Are you doing it visually by putting red behind you and blue in the front? How does that work? I don't know. I'll wait for Tim to get back to us about that. Let's move on. And let's wrap up and talk about the contest, because this is the last TMI before we do the drawing for the Pro Here headsets. And for those of you who don't know, this month I'm giving out this, which is a FRS GMRS radio adapter for Howard Light Impact Sports and Pro Here headsets. So you can just use your regular headsets. You can snap this on, and you have a FRS GMRS two-way radio ready to go. And so Pro Here is giving them away and letting me pick the winner. Oh, Tim answers here. Sheldon did in Big Bang a costume with lines of varying spaces. Oh, okay. So I don't know if I could find a picture of that. Doppler effect costume. Doppler effect costume. Big Bang Theory. Okay. And let me see if I can share this image with you folks. So for at least the folks who are watching this can join in on what I'm seeing. So that is the Doppler effect costume. And yeah, that is kind of fun. But again, you have to be able to find a suit that looks like that. If you can, and if you could do it, you could probably do it with, not as cool as wearing the suit, but you could do it with two poster boards and just draw lines of varying lengths. I suppose you could do that. Anyway, so the giveaway contest, go to moondogindustries.com/contest, and I will post up the direct link. Let me find it here. And, okay. So go to my website at moondogindustries.com, and this is actually, let me post up the link here in the side chat, and you can go directly to that contest page to enter to win the Pro Here headsets. The Pro Here GMRS radio adapter for headsets. And just to let you know, I'm going to have a special prize coming up next month, but this is the last week to get into this contest. I'll be drawing the winner at the next live stream. And I also just want to point out that my yard sale DC fundraiser, that's the fundraiser for my son's middle school's class trip to Washington, D.C. next year. I'm giving away a lot of the items that I've reviewed over the last couple of months, and you can win them by donating to the fundraiser, and there's the link there. A couple of the items have already been claimed, like the night vision goggles, or the night vision camera. That was already claimed. And as a special bonus, anybody who does claim any of the items that are in the fundraiser, I'm going to throw in some extra swag. You're not just going to get those things. You'll get some extra goodies inside of the box. So find out more at moondogindustries.com/yard sale. And here's the final clue for the mystery brand here. This seasonal Halloween brand popularized the idea of pop-up retail businesses. That's their business model. What it is that they put up temporary pop-up stores in large retail spaces that are empty or have recently gone out of business, and it essentially becomes a meme. This brand has become a meme for failing businesses, in that you will soon become that your business will soon become a blank location for this mystery brand. So if you know who this brand is that we're talking about here, send me an email. Send it to contest@moondogindustries.com, and I'll post that email address one more time on the side chat here. Send me an email with your answer in the subject line, and put in your mailing address. And first person to do that, that I receive an email, will get this Night Force lens cleaner, because Halloween is a holiday that we celebrate at night. And the subsequent entries will get a Night Core patch. So there we go. And I'll be checking the emails after the end of this show. All right, folks, we've come up to the end of the show, and I'd like to thank you again for tuning in, and hope all of you have a safe and fun Halloween. I hope you get lots of folks lots of kids who enjoy coming up to your house and getting candy. And don't forget to hit that like button right now. And I'm pretty sure everybody out there in the side chat is already a subscriber, but thank you for subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button, because that just means that it just tells the algorithm that it should suggest this to other folks who aren't subscribers. So much appreciated on that. And I'll be tune in next Wednesday, when we'll be drawing the winner for these headphones. And just as an early heads up, the next month I'm going to be giving away 2 prizes, not just one. So if you don't win this month's prize, well, you'll definitely want to enter next month for double the prizes. All right, everybody, have a safe and fun Halloween. Thanks for watching. You be safe out there. God bless. Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.